This is Justin Amazon for Friday, July 19th, 2019. Take a look at the 5 minute and where we started out Friday morning. Now, looking at just this, it looks like we're getting ready for a really nice sort of inverted head and shoulders, maybe something like that. And so, the neckline here is 1990. And it looks like it should just continue on up. It should just go. Why is it not doing this? Trying to draw color. There we go. Now I got it working. It should do something like this and then just go up, right? I mean, it kind of did that on its way down, right? It just followed down this downtrend line. So we're back into that downtrend line here. And looks like we're breaking out. That's where we went after hours. We were right here. Thursday, I was talking about this level. And so Friday for the open here, it looks like we're going to bounce. So, let's see. I think we had a slightly bearish, but really long lower wick. And I was thinking this could go lower as a retest of the previous day, but like I said, it looks like right now it's going higher. So first 5 minute of the 5 minute candle, here you go. Bulls coming in. Looks like it's going to bounce off of 1990. You can set your trigger to get in above the pre-market high because it's a little bit higher here, and a stop down here, or even more conservative down here. And so it's only maybe a quarter of an R to this level, maybe half, and then maybe an R or R and a quarter to get up here. That'd be a nice rally, to have that happen, on a Friday. So let's see what happens in the next candle. Do we set that up right now? Sure, and see how this plays out. Very next candle, inside candle, pulls back right into 1990. The close on this was 1990, and it's a great place for it to just kind of do the second retest. We retested into it here, second retest. We had post-market yesterday or Thursday. High here, 1990, right? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was 1990. It really looks like it's kind of retesting. So I drew to give it more time. It's just taking that time right now. It's doing it quickly. So now we should see something bullish come in. Doesn't have to take out the highs, but again, our entry up here, like 1998 by 1987, 86. So that's still a good setup, and we got a squeeze forming. That's nice. And we don't make a higher high. We actually make a lower high and a lower low. And we actually break down below the bullish candle. So that's kind of a little bit concerning. It's got to go even further now to go up. We got to move our stop down. I guess it could technically retest down to this level and then start to go. But it kind of wasn't really what I was looking for. I was looking for these two candles to break bullish. It's not happening. Next candle, what do you know? Inside candle from the previous one. Now this candle does the same thing. This one actually breaks down ever so slightly below this low, similar to this one. This is more of a continuation, bearish. Not quite down here. That line's moving a little further away. But now I'm wondering, okay, is it really going to come down here? And then what? Are we going to come into maybe this high or the day, yesterday's, Thursday's highs in here? We're going to do something with this level. So let's go into the candle. Okay, there's a bullish engulfing, starting to move back up, but again, it's only retesting as 1990. So far, we've opened above 1990, we've pulled back through it, and now we're right underneath it. Really want to get above it. Squeeze didn't really do anything. Just a one bar, a one dot squeeze, not really that significant. In this case, we had a 2 dot squeeze back here, and that moved, and we had a bigger squeeze here, and that was already on its way back down. Oops, don't do that. Okay. So we got some increase in volume here. We had a really big spike in volume at the open, and this is monthly expiration. So it makes sense there's going to be more volume than usual on a monthly expiration. Next candle, really small, indecisive candle, much lower volume, right on 1990 again. All right, I want to see a close above. Now, at this point, you can set your trigger to go bullish like 1992 and a stop down like 1984. And there you go. It can go bullish. That's it. This is more of like a flag, so picture it like this. Where this is coming like this, and then we're going to go like a flag down like this, and then you can go higher. Totally could look like that, right? Next candle, pulls back again. The low on this bullish candle is 1985.10. The low on this candle is 1984.89. It actually took out the low again. So each one of these lows keeps getting taken out. We're making lower highs and lower lows in general. We had this low taken out, then this low taken out, then this low taken out. This is not looking very strongly bullish. Again, I can still have my trigger bullish at 1992, a stop down here at 1984, but it really needs to start moving that way. And it's just chopping around. So I'm getting a lot of sideways action here. Indecision candle, and then we start to get this rollover. And here we are now, right on this line, breaking below it, making another lower high. And it's the question of where could this go? Is this really going to break down? This turned out to be a really kind of nice little triangle here. The squeeze is forming, got a little bit of bearish momentum, bigger spike in the bearish volume. And is it done, or is it going lower from here? That's the question. So because we're back into this line, we did a lot of chopping around on this line. You can go back and look at the day before, and I think the day before that even. There's a lot of chopping around this line. So I don't think we're just going to plunge lower to 1972.50. I think we would actually kind of hover around here for a little bit. And so that ends up happening. We kind of get a little bounce, actually, not even a hover. We get a bounce. Let's back up here. It's right here. This is really nice. So we came right back up to 1990. Your trigger up here is still safe, 1992. That's still a good place, 1991 even, to go bullish right here. I would still wait for a close up above there. And then your stop is down here like 1981. So 1991 by 1981, that's $10, And yeah, it's really got to get there. With these candles, this looks like it's a really nice stair step. All it has to do is break out, and then it can keep going. And I know I went a little bit too far forward with the candles, but you even have some bullish or some waning bearish momentum, and now it's about to switch bullish. And instead, it does another. I was going to say instead, but no. Okay, here it should be starting to roll a little bit lower. It starts to roll back down, and this is where I was thinking we're at. That this was going to be a little bit more of a hovering in this area, and instead we actually had a nice little retest. So this is a primary retest, secondary retest, and we're definitely under this as a strong resistance. And it's really hard to see in this perspective. I'll show you. We'll zoom out a little bit and we'll look at it. But here we go again, making another lower low. We were making relative highs and lower lows. And this one now comes down below some of these highs. We don't really have a good support in this range until we get down to 1972.50. Did we go down there? Nope. We start to rally. This looks really strange. Just looking at this, like, what's it doing? It's making these lower highs. It's making kind of making lower lows, making sort of a flat top. This is kind of a expanding triangle here, and it doesn't seem like it's going the right direction. It should be going bullish because we've made this really big pattern. We sold off, we bought up. This is just more people, loading up to go higher. And this is a nice little rally here from indecision candle. Could have just taken this trade, getting in bullish here and taking some profits right here, and that would have been a nice, maybe half hour or something. I don't know, just to take it up to here. But I'm really looking for a move, from one of these lines. And so that's why this one was so good to go bearish here below this and a stop up here. But let's see if we can get any sort of retracement and get in with that same entry. It's clearly breaking down. Can we get back up and do the same setup? 1987 by 1991. So that's $4 to go bearish. So let's see if we can get a rally a little higher to 1987. Moves up. What's the high here? 1986.83. That is so close. Oh, that looks like we missed it. Looks like this is starting to roll over. I retested something. The original, no, that low, maybe, I don't know. After that many bullish candles, just kind of makes sense to have a bearish one. Let's go a little further. Oh, there you go. Nice bounce here. We have this level that we've retested into. The high here is 1988.73. You're in within an inverted hammer at that level. Or if you're waiting for it to retest, it has now formed this candle, and you can set up a trade to go bearish below it. So probably 1986, and your stop up here in 1991. That's $5. Not quite as good as 4, obviously. But in terms of a risk, that you don't want it right here in case it does come up a little higher. This has acted as great resistance through here, and you want your stop up a little further away. 1992 would even be a little more conservative, but 1991 would be okay. All right, what happens next? Starts to roll over. You're in. Either way, you're in. You're in whether you took the retest to this level. You're in if you got in below this candle. Either way, you're in. And of course, it starts to move against you. And you start to panic thinking, oh no, I'm in the wrong direction. It's going to go now. It's going bullish. Look at all this. Look at these higher lows. I'm about to make a new higher high. I went the wrong direction. You get out of the trade for a loss. That's trading emotionally. Or you take a step back and see, oh, I got a really low volume. This is a little flag. It's not confirmed. It's just a flag. It's kind of a flag in either direction. It could be going bullish, could be going bearish. It's just some indecision right here on a really low volume. And if you look at the time of the day, it's coming up on lunchtime, or it's lunchtime in Eastern time on expiration, monthly expiration. Makes sense. There could be a little bit of low volume right here, just people eating their lunch. I do that sometimes during that time. Coming up on noon, Central time, and so maybe we'll see a little more volume come in after this. And another nice kind of inverted hammer, and the high here is 1988.73. The high here is 1988.63. So I'm 10 cents apart. And I wonder, what if I did like a double top here with the 21 as the neckline here? That'd be pretty cool. So again, you got the opportunity to get in right now from this setup, or you can get in like this setup here, below here, and stop up here. Same entry, second time, and you're in. Now this starts to roll down. Got a little bit of a jump in volume here, and then it's right back down. And this is looking like a double top here, really small double top. So if that's a double top, I want a little bit of retest, maybe back up here, maybe the 21. And, I really need to get a breakdown below these two lows here and be contending with this low pretty soon. That's got to happen. Some of this stuff has got to start to really move. And this retested, didn't even touch the 21, and now we're starting to roll down, and we're getting close to this low. Missed it. There's another opportunity. This is like a primary first retest. This is a secondary retest, and this is showing us it's bearish. Again, it's not really clean. We've got this downtrend line that we're just dancing all around. Really close to the lows here, really close right on the low here. Broke down here, and recovered. Each of these has been a breakdown, recovery, breakdown, recovery, breakdown, recovery. And so, do we actually get below it like we did on Wednesday and continue on lower? Go a little further. There we go. This looks like an evening star reversal, just like this did, and just like this did. And I'm right back on this line. Don't have a squeeze, but I've got a nice stair step here. And I get another really small, like double top here. Or if you kind of zoom out a little bit with your eyes, here's a high, second high, and this is a retest of a neckline, something like that. It's a little wonky. I guess I could draw it a little bit more like this. That's wavy, but that kind of a neckline, I don't know. I don't know if I'd do that, but I'm looking for triangles. I'm looking for something that, you know, I'm seeing that I've got these kind of lower highs, and then I had this lower low. Now I just kind of came in pretty straight there. That was not very straight. Come on, just go straight. There you go, pretty straight there. So I guess that's kind of a triangle now. So if we can get over here, so let's see, how much time is that? That's probably within the hour to be over here at a bit of an apex. All right, so let's look for that. Let's look for an apex and a breakdown. We got our signal, or we got our level to break down. We can get below 1978. If you're more conservative, get below 1978. That works. And your stop is like 1985. So now we get a little bit of a wider stop again. So we had a $4 stop here and a $5 stop here, and now we're looking at like a $7 stop. You know, so the best opportunity was right here, is, you know, recognizing the candle pattern and getting in aggressively, and it worked, and you could have taken some profits. But with options, I mean, if you wait a little bit, this may be the same setup, but you could do it again, even though it didn't move back up as much. You lost some premium. You may have the same put value here as you do here, even though this is a little bit lower. Just because depending on the option, losing some premium today. So I'd be looking at like the 1975 put, because we could be in the money just to get down here, or maybe the 1980, because that's been a nice level we've come into a couple of times. Let's see if we can get, you know, below that and actually be in the money. That'll help it move. There you go. Starts to break down even more, make another lower low. And oh, what is this? This is a bit of a retest to that level. That's really nice. But you're in again. You're in again bearish. We're almost to 1972.50. Let's get there. There we go. We're there. I think this was our retest of something. I don't really see a clear triangle here other than like that angle I drew. And then this. So we'll have to zoom out and see what's going on. But a bunch of bearish candles in a row. It would be nice to have a couple bullish candles. And you know, we definitely didn't get that apex over here. So see if we can do any sort of retesting to it. And we don't. We just continue on lower. So that was like a total breakdown right in here for the last almost 2 hours of the day. It just went lower, 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 lower. Came right into this with a hammer, where right at kind of our double bottom neckline over here from Thursday. So like I said, framing this like this, it looks really choppy. It still looks, looking back, it looks really choppy. You really got to know the candles, what's going on throughout the day to trade this well. If we take a bigger picture look, I'm just going to zoom out. So I'm still looking at the 5 minute. We were here before as this triangle was starting, and we're here now as this triangle is, well, not the triangle anymore, but as these crisscrosses, these crisscross lines. Oops, sorry, I think I tapped the screen and something moved. There you go. Yeah, this looks more and more like an inflection point. So if we go 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, we got 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. From where I drew this, it was 4 days before that we were down in this area, and it's 4 days after we're in this area. This has really worked like a pretty crazy, like just mirror. And obviously it's not exact. We didn't get the rally back up here, you know, so let me sketch that. This was, let's see, so this was 1, 2 days, this was 1, 2 days. So we did not get up here. Didn't happen. That actually lets a little more bearishness come in. We said this day looked more like a U. So to this day, the day after the U was a lot of down. The day after the U is a lot of down. Actually, a lot more down. It actually looks a little more like this. It's almost like we took this and compressed this into this box. And then because we had all that compression into one morning, 1 4.5 hour session, the last 2 hours just completely broke down instead of just the last like hour here. And I guess technically it did continue like this. And it'd be interesting to look at this without the extended hours, because I think you would see a little bit more of how this move here after this box is similar to this move here after this box. So pause the video, think on that, sketch some things out yourself. But let's move on to one other area while I'm looking at this. And because I have such a hard time drawing a straight line, I'm going to go back and sketch in here. The other thing I noticed, oops, draw, is we had these lows in here. And I'm going to move this one, this line. No, I'm going to draw a new one. No, it doesn't really work. It's still somewhat triangular. It's really hard to see. My eyes aren't catching it like I usually do. What I want to show is these lows right in here, here, and here, here. When we broke down this day, we not only broke 1990 after hours, but I was saying, if you go back and watch the video for this, I thought we were going to get to 1990 this day with this going on. But if you look at where this is, it's like right at 1994, somewhere right around 1984. No, 1985. It's just hard to draw it exact in here, and it may never be exact. But if I touch these lows here, 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 and then the high here, this is a retest. This is the retest I talked about when I was looking at the daily and said this is a bearish retest gap. We broke down, we came back up, and I was saying there could be some more bearishness. I think we got more bearishness starting from a little bit higher. I didn't expect it to retest and continue up to get above 1990. I think I was looking for it to stay, just kind of roll over using the 1990 line. But you can clearly see the 1990 price. Oops, the 1990 price worked incredibly well as resistance for the first, well, not the first 10 minutes, but after the first 10 minutes of the market, it worked really well for 2 hours. And then it held its ground, and we didn't even get back up to touch it over the next hour, more than an hour and a half. And then from there, we had a total rollover. So in this framework, looking at it like this, it's easier to see, okay, yeah, this is where we really broke down, was this line. And we retested it really, really well. And so if you're trading and you can put a line in here that, that works really well, use that to do the day trading, for swing trading. That's why I've got so many lines on here, just because I'm usually zoomed in on the 5 minute and it just looks like a mess back over here on the daily. But if you go into these different areas, sometimes it just works. So where we find ourselves right now is, this was kind of a stair step that broke down. It had 4 bearish candles in a row. This was a bearish retest gap, and we just retested and made a 5th bearish candle in a row. I don't know if we're going to hold the 21. It definitely has some room to continue lower. Like I said, it could totally come down to this level, being the low 1900s. If it totally came, like this one did, we could be even lower than that. I mean, we could be down at this level, retesting this. What would be really, really amazing if it did that over the next 3 days, 4 days. We've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the Thursday after hours is earnings. And so there's the potential that if we have some more bearishness come in, we could totally trap a lot of bears and gap up here somewhere. Let's zoom back out. We could totally gap up above all of this to a new all-time high, trapping all of these bears and just continue to scream higher. That's one potential. The other is we get some more bullishness that comes in with potentially some exhaustion volume from the bullish rally we've had, and we get up to a point in here that it's like it'll feel like we shouldn't be up here. We shouldn't be up here yet. Similar to what happened back over here. It's like we shouldn't be up. Like we're rallying really well. We shouldn't really be up here, because when this was making these highs above this pivot, it just didn't seem right that we're up here. And then we had a lot of bearishness come in. Now we didn't have an earnings thing, earnings date come in around here. We did on this one, and we came back down. This was where we gapped up to a new high. But you can see we had some bearishness come in. We had some bulls, some bears, and we just didn't rest long enough for this to really catapult us higher. This one now, I'd say this is a bigger rest, and I think that bulls are still happy with what they've got. I don't know if they're taking profits here. Bears are looking to get in, looking to push it lower, and all we've really done is retest this pivot again a second time. The close on this candle is 1962.46. The close we had on Friday is 1964.52. It's really, really close to just a retest of that. Now, with what I was drawing earlier down on the 5 minute, let me sketch again over here. I totally am seeing this and that being a neckline of inverted head and shoulders that really just needs a little bit of just sideways here, and then it's gone. Like literally just it's going to go straight up. That's totally potential right here. This could totally just be a retest of that and a rest and then go higher. Alternatively, if this bullish rally needs a bigger rest, then yeah, it should come down here, at least come to here, ideally come back down to this low and then drop below it, like down here into the low 1800s or 1850, that range. And if we can get down there a whole lot, no, that's too much going on. If we can get down here in this range, like get way down here. I mean, it even could happen earlier in the week. This is going to say to the bears, oh yeah, we're right, because we're below this. We're taking out that low. We're going to continue lower, and I just see it rallying hard from there again. So I guess I'm seeing a couple places where we could really see a significant move bullish, and that's if we get below a low like this, and bears think, okay, that's it, it's going to zero, and instead the bulls take over and just rally because they're getting a second opportunity to buy here when they missed it here. I think it's more likely is that we'll pull back a little further, again giving bears the confidence it's going to come lower, and then we come right back into this level, low 1900s. Maybe throw a couple extra wicks down, taking out a bunch of these bulls. So if we get a wick down to like maybe right at 1900, that'll be below these bulls, and then it'll be like, okay, going higher now, and it'll just go. I'm trying to think of where I've seen that happen, where we took out a low over there, or something like this, where we came down a little further, took out some more bulls, like this. We bounced here without even hitting this line. I mean, that could totally be higher. Rallied, and then we had this rollover, and we were just sideways below this pivot. Whenever we can take out some bulls, the bears are going to think that they're on the right side of the trade until the bulls come right back in. And I just see the potential for that in here. So I know we're going back a ways, just trying to look for where have we seen this sort of thing pull back like this. Okay, people thought that was enough. We start to go up, pulls back more. We've taken out all the bulls here from low 1128.20, the low here 1124.74. So we took out the low of that bullish gap and go. So anyway, we go back to this. We'll keep looking at this. and see what we're doing into options or into earnings. Switching gears over to the options that expired this week, monthly options calls, the 1975 call. I mean, it had a couple bounces, but it was following the same downtrend. And so this was really, yeah, let's do it again. We had a very similar downtrend, and then this was a little more even, but it was an expanding triangle, similar to what we saw on the 5-minute of the stock. We're seeing similar on the 5-minute of the option. I'm going to get rid of this. We're making these lower highs and steeper lower lows. And that's kind of a signal like maybe this isn't the right direction. And so if we go look at the puts, now I'm looking at the same 1975 strike. And all day you could have bought at $1, even $50 right here, or bought 50. No, sorry. You could have been buying for $100 all day long, and even for $50 here. And then that ended up getting up above 10. So that would have been like a 10x sort of trade. If you get a little closer, like I was talking about, maybe 1985, that actually held the low pretty well, right around $2, maybe 250, maybe 3x2, something like that. A little more even. I mean, rather than just being so close to zero, this actually held its ground, being like 250 by 150 or 3x2. Some definite opportunities there. And then even in here, you had some smaller candles that you could have been looking to take those just by trading the candles like this. What was it? I think it was up here. So 11:30. Let's say 11:30 you got triggered in. So 11:30 was here. Well, it even pulled back further here on that second one. So this candle gave you a better options entry than this one here. And then even over here, so that was 12:45. 12:45 gave you another opportunity to get in like 4x3. And so just looking for the opportunities where you're going to wait. And you can't wait forever, but if you set it up so that you're getting in, as one of these candles triggers, so you're getting in after this candle forms, so that would have been after this candle formed, this high, doing the high below, so 3x2 would have worked here. Never got below 2. For over here, this would have been a little wider. This would have been 6x4 or something like that. Well, probably this candle, the 1 o'clock candle. So this is the 1 o'clock candle. So I guess you could have done 450 by 350, triggering in on that candle. Just don't have much time to set that one up. If we go out a little further, maybe the 1980, you've got, let's see, right around 2 all in here. So this would have been maybe, so that still would have been tough because the high is 240, the low is 145. So it would have been a little harder, I think, on some of these to keep that $100 risk. It would have worked for a nice gain, but just setting the stop in the right place. So I like the ones where you can have a stop that you can clearly say, hey, we haven't gotten below this. So once we put in a low like this, and you're getting in at the right entry point on the stock. I think that's where it really helps. So you're looking for these places where, okay, we're holding that as resistance. Oh, we're holding that as resistance. We're holding that as, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 places where it's really acting as resistance. That's more than these, I'll say 1, 2, and kind of 3 here. And then this is all 1, 2, 3, so each time that it moved down, it was like a high here, and then a high here, and then a high here, and then we were off to the races. So we clearly see See if I can sketch it again. Now we had this high and this high and this high, and then we've got this one and this one and this. So these are coming in pairs, triples. I guess what I say, this was another one here. So just seeing some clear areas where it's acting as a really good resistance and it's just pushing lower. And don't see those same, can't really count them the same on the options, but you got to look for that level to be consistent. And so in this case, I mean, we had a low over here of right above $1. I'll say, $1.10, $1.20. And then over here we pull down to $1. I mean, that's still reasonable. We're more or less holding that low. It's just a matter of, are we going to get above this? And where's the right place to get above it and to go? If you had taken the trade here, like maybe 3 by 1 even, you had to give it some room because of these candles. And that's where out of the money options can be a little bit harder to do. But, oftentimes I'm looking at the absolute zero so that you can set something, and this would have been the right one. It's far enough away, but you can end up in the money. So maybe you bought it for $1, knowing that the 1975 would be $2.50 in the money if we got down to 1970, 250. So at least I'm looking for going from $1 up to 250, and we already did that once in the day. So stands to reason it could do it again. And in this case, it just went way further. This would have been a nice play too. Get in for $1, get out at 250, way earlier on in the day. That would have been nice. That was, I think, this move here. So this is one you could have taken that, gotten in bearish, and then just taking your profit when we made a new low on the day, and not holding through all this, and just having that plan to exit so you gain something. Oh, this is another squeeze too. So the squeeze, it just took a long while for it to really play out directionally. We didn't even form another squeeze here. So just interesting to see how that all played out. I hope this helps. Hope you're seeing this as a bearish retest. It's just about an island reversal. When I was doing the video Thursday, I should have mentioned it because it was clearly an island reversal on Thursday. Now that we've retested this a little bit further, we've already closed this bearish gap. So we don't have to get back up here real soon, unless we're going to go bullish. But if it does start to roll back down some more, it's going to look and feel like this is a island reversal, and that's just a really strong pattern in that location, near an all-time high, and it just really has to do with those gaps on either side of it. And I don't know that we've had one of those in any time recent. That just jumped. Sort of here. This wick came down a little bit lower, so technically it's not. It just has the feel of this is kind of separate from this, but then we ended up we gapped down and bearish gap and go, and we just ended up rallying. Some of these don't really count as well because they're just taking so long. I didn't go through and look for this earlier. This kind of looks like it's a really small island reversal. This is more of just a evening star. I'm sorry. Evening star reversal than an island reversal. Just because it's only 3 candles there. So yeah, just not really seeing one. Now we're back on the 300s. Would have been great to pick up some shares back then. All right. Yeah, this one, it doesn't really have the same shape as an island reversal. It's got kind of a gap here, but that I'd already retested. That's too big. Yeah, I'm just not really seeing. Now, if this had gapped down, that would have been pretty good island reversal, but it didn't. Yeah, we're going back in time. This is a little bit of one, but it's an angle, and then we still filled it here and here. Going to say kind of this with this gap, but this one's here, so again, it's another angle. And kind of this, but it would be nice if this hadn't filled here. Here we go. This is a nice one here where we gapped up, formed this, and then gapped down. It for a clear island reversal should have gapped further down and not been a retest right into it. And then that would have played out really nicely bearish. That's a nice little move up. Still just looking for island reversals. Almost to the end of what I got on my chart. And I'm not seeing a lot of it. Well, that's what I got. It doesn't happen much, but that's what can happen. So, we can totally open ourselves up, or we are totally opened up to more bearishness, more of a pullback. And if we do that before earnings, I'm seeing a gap, and I'd like to see a gap up, trapping a lot of bears. And I think they're going to be squeezed. They're going to have to cover, and it'll just launch it higher. That's what I'm anticipating, but we'll keep an eye on stuff this week and see what's going on as things trade on Monday. And so far, the computers are working all right, so I've been able to keep up with it. So hopefully I'll do one this Monday where I wasn't able last Monday. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. This is a little deeper dive into kind of what I'm picturing and how you can play things out on Friday. Hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is just AMZN. Thanks.